Hey everybody, we are The Natural Ones, a Dungeons & Dragons comedy cast that takes place in the Roselands, an original fantasy world and a land slipping into chaos as the players try to do their best in keeping things in check. Sort of. Join players Jerry, Pat, and Aiden as they roll their way out of whatever Dungeon Master Zektown puts in front of them. Find us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Audible, Google Play, and wherever else you find your podcasts. Find us on Twitter at TheNat1SCast. Again, that's TheNat1SCast. We are a proud founding member of the A Tale of D20s podcast network.
Greetings, Dungeon Delvers, and welcome to yet another exciting chapter of A Tale of D20's Descent into the Void, where six friends journey together to tell a story of mythic proportion.
Gather round, gather round. Let me tell you a tale of life and death, of joy and sorrow, a tale of D20s.
Before we begin, a couple of announcements. First, Lewis, who plays Horatio Kane, will not be joining us. He's dealing with COVID-related issues, so we wish him the best. And in the interim, I, as the Tale Weaver, will be playing his character, though I have a pretty good idea on what he would like to do next. Next announcement, we have our Spotlight. And today, we put on Spotlight World Forge Gaming. So, World Forge Podcast is a comedy storytelling podcast for creators and world builders. Each episode, your hosts, Sam and Piper, use random prompts to create a hero, a villain, a monster, or who knows what else. They hope their antics inspire you to create and expand your own stories and worlds. Find them here at anchor.fm/WorldForgePod or on major podcasting apps, and you can follow them on Twitter at WorldForgePod. So, without further ado, let's remove the bookmark and continue our epic tale. Last time, Liberators, you returned back from the future and the past. After dealing with the after effects of the explosion from the Corporis Arcana, you appeared in the Dust District, back in the present, seeing yourselves run off to fight Dark Ren. Following Cal, you decided to race to the throne of Thelos, using Horatio's seeming to disguise yourselves as nobles. After tricking the tram driver, you all arrived at the Castle Thelos and ran inside. Witnessing the labyrinth that is the palace, Horatio used his Archon power to trace the ley lines back to the throne room, finding 3 dark entities inside. He teleported the Liberators straight into the throne room, catching Balin, Jalen, and Deja Vu in surprise. With Duran leading the charge, a battle broke out where you defeated once and for all Deja Vu, Monaco capturing their soul in a cage. You all ate the ambrosia fruit given to you by Cal and received visions during your consumption, and received great power. Cal sat upon the throne and began to carve new ley lines and expanding the others, keeping the Corporis afloat as he witnessed the destruction that happened in the time previous. His mind whipped through Thelos, aiding the king in his battle, and then went deeper into the void, traversing the winding dungeons and the twisting caverns, before landing in a strange forest in a battle with light and darkness. During this, King and Duran aided Cal and his control over the throne, but in doing so damaged themselves in the process. With Horatio and Monaco teleporting to the Corporis and replacing the shard to cause it to float again, Cal, you awaken from your trance. You feel weakened, hurt from delving into the pure arcana, and King, your scar burns with the white-hot intensity of 1,000 stars. But Duran, you stay there, motionless, unmoving, your mind lost, split into pieces, swimming in the ether known as the ley lines. So, Liberators, what do you all do next?
I fall forward and grab my chest in pain. Probably not even realizing that I'm falling out of Duran's arms and he's still standing there lifeless. Oh, my chest!
I run over off the throne and go to my 2 companions.
As you step off the throne, Cal, you immediately feel pulsing inside of your body. It's not as painful as King, but your magic, your arcane ability, that divine ability you have just seems to be warped, altered. You can automatically feel that your channeled divinity and things you can normally do doesn't seem to be accessible at this time.
King, are you okay?
My chest! and I'll like pull back my chest because it's so burning hot, and you can see the light just sort of escaping as the radiant crack spews forth. I'll be okay. Did we win? What happened?
I think we're on the right path, but we're not out of the woods
Duran!
yet.
Duran! And I'll turn around to look at him.
As you turn around and look at Duran, Duran's completely motionless. Standing there, his arm still out as if he was holding on to you. When you fell out of his embrace, you look at he's breathing. You can tell that at least, but his eyes just look blank as he stands there.
Duran, what's wrong? Ifnai, come to me. As I say in my love in Elvish.
One thing you do notice is you try to reach out to him, trying to feel using the bond of the Stellus. Doesn't seem like there's anything there. That connection the two of you had seems to be absent. There's a void within your heart.
As this realization comes upon me, I just start to, tears just pour down my face. What? He's gone. What's wrong with? I don't feel him. I'll sort of try and scramble and stand up and stumble and fall because I'm still such in pain. Clutching my one chest, I'll turn around to try and reach towards him.
King, be careful. You're very weak yourself. Duran, wake up.
I don't feel
Duran.
the bond. I can't feel our connection.
DM, do I still remember everything clearly that I saw when I was sitting on the throne?
Oh, yes. Now, it is fleeting slowly over time, as you don't have keen mind, and this was an intense amount of information that was being placed inside your thoughts. But for the moment, you do still can call back to everything you see, though it hurts your head a lot.
King, I saw the bond between you two snap. Something happened. I could see all the ley lines.
What?
I was fixing them.
What? And I turn my face towards you and you just see tears just running down his face, just in pure physical and emotional turmoil.
I think I saw Duran slip down into the stream of the ley line.
No, that can't be. We need him. I need him. Quick, get me a diamond in my bag. And I'm gonna scream out in the broadcast bracelet, Horatio! And everyone will hear that.
Alright, so back on top of the Corporus Arcana, after placing in the shard, and the Corporus it didn't rise any more than it dropped, but only dropped a little bit. It's now just staying in place. Monaco, you and Horatio felt a little jostle when it was placed in there, but you look around after bracing yourselves and you see that it's floating. The woo pulsating energy of the white light where Horatio placed in the shard is there, although it's just kind of on the ground at this point. The entire castle's been destroyed. Horatio turns to you, Monaco. The king sounds distressed. Should we head back?
Oh, absolutely. This place everything seems okay for now, but let's go check on them. Right.
And he goes ahead and touches his pendant, the same one he used to open up the gate to the Corporus, and with that, the air itself splits apart, opening the familiar arcane gate, showing the white light in the background, and you can barely make out the scene that's happening there before Horatio says, "After you?"
She hops through.
Okay, and he hops through as well. It closes behind. The rest of you see the air split apart again, seeing the two heroes, your two allies, pop through the gate.
What's wrong?
You see me scrambling through my pack. He's lost his mind. We must try and restore him. Horatio, what happened? Cal said our bond broke in the ley lines.
Horatio looks distraught. Horatio runs over and goes, I don't know. You delved into the arcane, into the ley lines. Last time I nearly lost myself. I'm surprised, no offense, Cal, that you were even able to withstand it. Duran joined in. He's not
How
ready.
Dare you? And I'm gonna shove him just in anger as he says that. Sort of feels to King, it feels like he's making an excuse.
Horatio gets pushed back,
Get out of my way!
almost stumbling over.
Get out of my way! And now with the 500 diamond in hand, I'm going to...
Hey, King, wait. What, don't, come on, it's okay, it's
He
okay.
needs us!
It's okay, Horatio's here, he'll take care of it, and she'll hold his head and kind of like pat the back of his head.
I'll just like turn and collapse into her and sob. I need him!
And she'll just lower down and hold him.
Horatio looks on over to Cal and whispers, looking back over at Duran, I don't have... And he's flipping through his spell book right now. I don't know if I have anything to help. I don't know what to do.
If his mind is lost in the ley lines, we have to find him. Horatio.
I'll sit back
Horatio.
on the chair. I'll do what I can. And Horatio immediately runs and sits on the chair. As he does, he sits on it. He goes into its Archon of Peace mode. That familiar blue aura shining around it, and it interlocks with the chair itself. The ley lines light up in the area, and you see him hold on, gripping tight. And you know, Cal, from experience, this is him going through the ley lines. I'm gonna roll for him an intelligence saving throw. At advantage.
Can I assist or buff the roll in any way? If I want to, I know since I've sat on this chair, this throne, I know that if I go up and kind of speak quietly into his ear, he'll still hear me.
Mm-hmm.
And since he's kind of perceiving everything all at once, and I'm going to kind of, I want to try and guide him to the right part of the ley lines where I saw the stelae break, and see if he can follow any kind of trail. Maybe there's some sort of ethereal blood trail that he can kind of follow.
Okay, I'll
From
keep
where
that in
the-
mind.
Connection was severed.
So he'll get your +4 from your aura, as well as I will keep that, since he's already at advantage,
Mhm.
into the DC. So let's go ahead and roll him.
Look to the astral sea.
He rolled natural 20 for a total of 35.
Wow.
Okay. So you hear him yell out, and his voice is booming with energy. Yes, I can see the ley lines. New pathways. Cal, what did you... I can feel him. It's faint. So many pieces. He's been shattered. He's flowing in the river of the ley lines. Maybe a piece of him lies in Fia, but another piece lies deeper in the void, and then deeper since. He's in many pieces. We'll have to gather all of them. Go to these points where that harbor his soul. Maybe then we can put him back together.
Find him!
I don't know. And he gets up out of it. I'm sorry. That's all I could get. I'm so sorry, King. Maybe you can restore him. That could help. I just don't have restorative powers. I'm so sorry.
I bite my lip and look away. The tears just still roll down my face.
King. She looks down at you and at the light shining out of your chest, and like looks away and says, "You love him, don't you?
With all my heart and being.
Maybe we can heal a bit of him now, and then we can get the pieces, make him whole.
King nods.
Let's do what we can. He's still alive, right?
You can go and check him out and roll a medicine check. You want to see the status that he's at? The state.
Is King
he's at.
able to stand? Is he okay?
Yeah, with you saying that, I'll like nod and stand up and walk over to him, and I'm trained in medicine, so...
Okay. Go ahead and roll me that medicine check.
18.
18, alright. You begin to check him out, and he's standing there motionless. His breathing, is as you notice over time, is becoming more and more labored. Although it's light, but you could tell it's like listening into his chest, you can hear that it's strained, that's the word. His breathing's become more and more strained. Unless something is done quickly, you don't know. His brain function doesn't seem to be there, and he's just running on autopilot, but for how long, you don't know.
He's struggling. And I will try and heal him and just use... I'll see if a lesser restoration at least eases the pain. and sort of like touch and rub his head and his cheek as I have in the past before.
What? Wait. Before you do any magic, I'm sorry, King. I'm so worried about that. I have one thing I can do.
What?
Just once.
What?
And she'll take out her wand and walk up between the two of them and kind of like gently move King
What if we need
away.
that? We don't know if this will
King-
work now.
I don't know if you can even survive casting something like that on him.
It's worth my life to bring him
We
back.
can't lose you.
No, it is.
King,
King.
she's right.
King, no, please. What would Duran think about a life without you?
I don't know. He'd probably hate me for giving up myself for him. I feel lost. I feel broken and shattered. Duran, you stand whole in front of me, and you're gone. What am I to do without you? This is no victory. I'll step back.
Minako will plant a gentle kiss on King's forehead, and then take a couple steps up to Duran and put her wand up against his chest and activate Power Word Heal, using the one Power Word Heal that she has in her wand.
Okay. As you say the power word of heal from your wand that's been blessed to you, remembering that words have power as it whispers throughout your mind, the energy seeps out slowly like strands of silk, and it pulled by gravity, it leads down towards his feet and begins circling around, going up higher and higher, past his ankles and his knees, up past his thighs, his stomach, going all the way up to the top of his head before surrounding him with a strange ethereal glow. As you look on, as the last strands of the silky power escapes out of the wand, you look on, hoping, praying that this will cure Duran, but the process seems to be taking a bit. 5 seconds goes by, 10 seconds goes by, 30 seconds goes by as you're staring on, clutching tightly, hoping that something would happen. And at that moment, I need you all, except for Duran, to step into the void. Your mind just drifts into many different pieces. 4 different pieces. You can see yourself floating on some type of river-like substance, going through the tunnels that is within the ground itself. And you can see all of this, like in like a split vision of 4. Your emotions, your anger, your love, your empathy, your sense of justice, all of them just split throughout the void, throughout reality. Finally, you end up hitting a stopping point, as if like a dam almost, at each point. And you latch on your mind, your memories, your feelings at that point in the ley lines. What seems to be hours, days, years, you're not sure. You've just been sitting here alone until at all 4 points there is a bright light coming down. What you see times 4 is a strangely dressed man. He has dark purple skin, very strange dark green eyes that almost pierce through you, and wild, almost bed hair-like hair that's brown. And he just has this ethereal glow. It seems that someone has entered my realm. And I've never seen someone so broken enter my realm. Who perchance are you?
I'm Duran the Gale, one of the Liberators. My team, the Liberators. Can you help me where are they? Where am I?
The Liberators. One moment. He says, yawning, stretching out his arms. Right. You're the group that aided my disciple, one of my strongest disciples. Well, it might not be chance that I found you here, lost in between this realm and the next, floating the ether. So many have appeared before me. The powerful Kaijin walks amongst this as well, and now you, and I sense there's a connection. Where my manners. I am the god known as Hypnos, Lord of Dreams and the Ethereal.
You are a god?
Yes, and I believe you have met my disciple, Jade.
Jade? She saved our lives, and realm with demons and shivering.
Why, she did. Tapping into the powers of me, her druidic powers, she was able to cross into the dreams and aid you.
Visions. Of course. Then can you help me? Just like Jade helped us back then.
Unfortunately, I'm unable to meddle into mortal affairs, rules and all that. Prolepsy, Aegis, it's a long story.
Oh,
But I suppose I will speak to Jade. She may be able to aid in some way. Hopefully your allies will be able to find her on the way. I'll send clues. They will have to piece you together if you wish to be saved.
well, what if it wasn't a mortal affair? My Stelos, my love, my home, my dearest king. He is one chosen by Myliki, and one with Myliki. I am his protector, and Stelos, his Stellai, surely it is no longer a mortal matter.
He looks down to you, and you're just looking up as if you're like floating on your back. Times 4. Smiley Vessel? Stellus? Oh, interesting indeed. Oh. Perhaps then, so this is where Myliki has gone to. Ooh, the secrets Nyx has been keeping. Well then, perhaps I'll be able to involve myself more than I thought. But as Myliki is a prolepsy, I'm limited. Though I do have some plans. Tell you what, become my champion once you are pieced together. Swear to me that on a bond. A gesh, if you will. If you walk the path of dreams, I'll be able to see what's going on. Stirrings have been happening in the heavens, and poor Hypnos has been kept out of the loop. Do we have an accord, Duran?
Can I talk to my Stellai first?
Oh, heavens, no. Whatever bond you had together seems to have been severed, and I cannot join you two. It is out of my ability. But if you are a worshipper of mine, perhaps you could commune or do other things that I can speak through you, of course, binding you to me for all eternity.
Yes, of course. Anything to get back to him.
Excellent. Well then, I will slowly start to put the pieces down for your liberators to find. Oh, I'm quite tired. Coming out of the realm, of my realms, it's a little tiresome. Rest up, Duran the Gale, my future disciple. We'll find your pieces, put them together, return you to your body, and you will serve me. Oh, and he fades away in a gigantic yawn as you just kind of float there, making this deal with the god Hypnos. And we'll have everyone hop back into the void. Welcome back from the void. I hope your stay was pleasant. As you all look on, seeing Monaco's spell take effect, Duran, you begin to blink your eyes. You all look with joy and elation and jubilation as you start to see Duran begin to move. You feel stiff, Duran. You blink, looking around. Looking up, you see you're within the cavern that is the throne room. And you look down, and you see kind of holding on to you are your allies, specifically King. But you feel different.
Oh my god, that worked! Duran!
Duran, are you there?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. I was so worried sick about you. What happened?
Duran kind of looks at you, King. Could we finish? And like the gruff Elven of the Valkyrie asks, "Are you done?"
What? I'll respond back in Elvish, like Tasten van. Like, don't play with me right now.
Duran just looks at him, and he just stands up at this point and dusts himself off.
Are you all right? We were worried sick about you.
Is Duran like okay? Like if he shakes out his shoulders and elbows, does he feel like everything's back at full health and everything?
You feel very healthy. As healthy as you were after the battle. You still have whatever damage you would take. Actually, you took heal, so you're 100% healed, full health. You're right as rain.
Yes, I feel fine. Now, let's get to the next point of this. We just finished defeating Deja Vu. They're dead, right?
I think so.
Mostly.
Good.
Duran, what's the last thing you remember?
The last thing I remember... King reached out and touched you while you were on the throne, and I had to save him. Again.
I see.
And then I woke up.
Can I, like, the way that he says again, does that jar me?
It definitely jars you. He is really... You can definitely sense, with your passive insight, you could tell Duran's being very rough.
I'm gonna say to him in Elvish, like, my love, what's come over you? You seem hurt.
Something must have changed after I grabbed you. But look, why are we standing here while we still have enemies? Shouldn't we be focused on the mission?
Horatio will kind of walk up. Duran, are you sure you're alright?
Right enough. Should we get going?
Yeah, I guess. As long as you're okay. And he kind of looks a little like, furrowed his brow slightly, staring at you with a sense of confusion, and then shakes his head and begins walking towards the exit, but turns around before getting too far, looking at the rest of you. So what's the plan?
I agree. I think we should talk to King Terminus, establish that everything here is fine for the moment, and get back to Fia. We can be there instantly. Correct, King?
Yes, I can still do it.
Good. Let's go.
Horatio, can you send a message to Terminus?
See if he has that prepared. He goes, not today. I didn't prepare that one.
All right. Well, this is Terminus's throne room. I don't know. Cal, did you see what was happening in the rest of the city when you were on the throne? Or Horatio?
Yes, I was able to realign some things and push back against chaos. I think I was able to help turn the tide a little bit in the king's favor. The last thing I remember seeing was that Terminus's forces were overpowering all the undead and driving them out of the city.
Is there any guards or people like
In your vicinity?
or
When you ran in
even
here,
if we like leave, because it's like directly the magic throne room. Like if we go out to like the next room that leads to this one, are there like any of his attendants, any knights, unity knights?
you can leave. You're still within there if you want. And you can't tell from in here. The door's closed to the other side.
Say we must get word to someone, to Terminus. If we can't message him, maybe his knights are here. And I'll start to like slowly walk towards the door.
All right. So before we go forward, King, go ahead and roll me them d4s.
All right. 25.
Okay. 25. All right. So, Duran, this would have. You're now coming to realize the state that you're in. You feel it, and although elves don't age normally on the outside, you can still tell that you've grown a massive amount of years, or gained a massive amount of years within a short time. And although you don't feel your connection with King anymore, you still felt that at some point you gained about 20-ish years and all that. And then you could surmise that it came from your bond with King.
After Duran feels like that loss of age or loss of life, time, I guess. I know we need your magic for Wynn, but be more careful with it. Think.
What has come over you, Duran? You know that I only use magic when necessary. I try not to be excessive. I understand, just like you do, the gravity of it. Why are you being so mean? Have you lost yourself?
I'm just being reasonable and honest with you. It feels very easy to now.
I understand. I'll turn and wipe my eye, my sleeve across my eye and head towards the door. I'll see if there's a Unity Knight out here.
Okay.
Can I add to that? Does the door open?
Yes, the door does. As you go towards it,
Does it close behind me?
you would have to physically close it.
I'll open the door and close it behind me, and immediately just let out a sob that they could all hear. As I fully understand now what this means.
Okay.
and you hear the sob get softer and softer as he walks away, crying beyond the hall.
Okay. As you all hear the muffled tears of King, and you all start to walk up to the door. King, since you're the first one out, you see standing at the entryway of the throne room are 2 Unity Knights. Other than that, it's completely empty in here. It looks like they were just a reserve guard here, just in case, and who end up doing nothing since it seems like Deja and the other crew got past them. But they do notice you sobbing, immediately turn around, and there are 2, one male, one female, armed Unity Knight with pole arms, and they immediately take their pole arms and point it towards you as you crumble down crying, and they look a little shocked, de-arm themselves.
I'll like mumble out or like gargle out, "The throne room has been saved. Call King Terminus. Get the Corporus mages. Summon them!" And I'll just like push my throw my hand out like at them. Go!
They look at each other confused. I'll go. You stay here with this gentleman. And the male guard runs off while the female guard turns to you and says, yes, I'll handle things here. Still clutching, as he runs off, still clutching her pole arm, she goes to you. Or, who are you, and are you okay?
No, I am not. I am one of the liberators and honored guests of King Terminus, and we saved this throne room at great cost.
Wait, what? The throne room was under attack. How could they? And she goes to open up the door to look inside. As she opens up the door behind you, she looks in and sees the rest of the liberators and and it's physically battle. Oh, actually no, the place heals itself over time, so it doesn't look like there was a battle here, though there are like
the remains and muck of the people.
Yeah, the people and things like that are still here. But she sees all of you, and you guys are injured in some fashion, if you weren't fully healed. And she turns, is everyone all right? You're the liberators, right? Your friend said.
Yes, we need to get to King Terminus now. Where is he?
He's in the forefront of the battlefield. He hasn't sent any messages. Last time I knew, the tide was not going well in our favor. The undead was overrunning. We were supposed to stay here, protect the throne at all costs. But you're saying that someone got through?
Cal smiles. Yes. Now where can you direct me towards him? What's the quickest way?
But how'd you get through? You'd have to take the tram over and then have to, well, actually, technically, if you take the emergency tram, you can peer back into the Grey District and then make your way across. It'll take you a bit. That's the fastest way. We don't have any type of flying horses or anything like that. Horatio goes up. I've teleported after I ate the fruit. I got my powers back. I can perhaps teleport us again? Is that what you guys want?
Horatio, we're gonna need you to teleport us to Fear later. We can't risk King doing it. Because it might kill him. She'll run past and go console her friend. Just kneeling next to him and rubbing his back.
Okay.
Horatio, how many times can you teleport us? Just the one time per day, right?
Right, just the one time.
I'm so sorry that happened, King. I didn't know.
I'll turn to you and I'll say, that's not Duran anymore. He doesn't remember anything. He doesn't know him. He doesn't know himself.
I think...
And you're saying this in front of him?
I'm out in the hallway. She said she ran out to me.
Oh, okay.
We're like...
The rest of you are kind of walking on your way out. They ran ahead.
Got it.
I hope so. I hope you're right.
Horatio turns and says, he says, I could teleport us again after a long rest. I don't seem to have access to all of my powers after that battle, but I do feel I got stronger if we need to do it again.
We just need to talk to Terminus before we go anywhere. We need to know that Thelos will not fall.
Well, are we going straight to Fia? I mean, we can talk to him and debrief, and then afterwards, and I can teleport us there. No, King.
Yes, I will. I don't care. What does it matter if this world and multiverse shatters? I will do what I must. And I, stand up, and, push myself to my knees and try and, like, look stalwart. I will do it!
Relax, King. Let's just take this emergency tram, make our way over there as quickly as we can.
Horatio turns to Duran. Duran, speak some sense into him. He's your Stellus.
Already told him to use his magic sensibly. Duran shrugs.
Horatio just looks shocked and his mouth agape and just looks over at King and just says no words.
Do I know, does he speak Sylvan?
No, he does not. He can cast a spell to learn and understand it, but but he does not know it.
I'll just say it in Elvish then, because I would know that. I'll just say it, and I'll say he's no Stellus. He's Stellus no more.
You definitely heard that, Duran. And everyone who speaks Elvish, who's nearby, hears it, and Horatio just puts his head down, shocked, and looks over at Monako.
Can we get going? Or did we forget people were dying?
Alright, so?
Let's get going.
Right, let me just make... I can teleport us to Terminus. Don't worry, I can get us to Fia if we need to. Let's just hurry. Is that alright with everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. And Horatio begins reading the incantation off of his spell book and begins closing his eyes, putting his hand down to the ground. He begins to trace the ley lines. He knows with his keen mind the area, but can't pinpoint exactly where Terminus is, but using his connection to the ley lines, let's roll him a check to see how well he does. Okay. He opens up his eyes, and he goes, I found him. Alright, everyone. Stick close. And then as you all kind of get close in there, he says one last word to the guard. Just keep a guard out. You don't know who else can be, who might come. Just be safe. And the female guard goes, right. And in doing that, the energy envelops all of you, and you begin to shift throughout space and time. Same way that as you did coming to the throne room, you leave it, exiting. Moments later, first thing you all hear is the sounds of explosions in the distance and people cheering. You hear a bunch of voices going, "Ah, we did it! We did it! They run! The undead runs! Ha ha ha! Well done, friends! They're on the move! Now, army, strike them down before they get further!" And as you look, finally, you see yourselves at the edge of the Grey District. Looking across you see the massive figure in armor of King Terminus as he's lobbing holy energy and fireballs off into the distance, destroying what remains of the undead, and the rest of the Unity Knights cheering, the people of the Grey District cheering, shouting out King Terminus' name as it seems the battle has been won in his favor. What do you guys do?
I run over to King Terminus' side to catch up with him after everything that's happened.
Okay. King Terminus is kind of laughing. Ha 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 ha! We did it, friends! Oh! And he turns and sees you. Oh, one of the Liberators, hello!
King Terminus, it's great to see you again.
It's great to see you.
I see that the tide has changed quite favorably.
Yes, it has, miraculously. It was almost like the energies of the ley lines were aiding us, destroying the undead, friends.
Well, I need to speak with you about that, but we need to get to Fia.
Yes, of course. I must go and aid Queen Camilla.
It's true.
My future wife. He said that with a smile.
If we can get to Beach Bell, I think there's a ship quite familiar that I think it would be quite fitting to ride in on.
Beach Bell? Of course.
You remember my father?
Your father? Right, you told me it's Galilia.
Yeah. His ship.
You come on the Ice Crown?
Yes. And something happened. It's a long story. But we nearly lost the Arcanum, and when I sat on the throne, He
immediately puts his hand on your shoulder as he stops you in the middle of talking. You feel like a firm grip on your shoulder. This massive man, and he goes, "You sat on the throne, the arcane throne, and lived?"
Yes. I started fixing and realigning the ley lines. I could see them. I could see all of the terrible things that the chaos had done over the years to the ley lines, bending them out of shape and just bastardizing them.
He looks on over towards you. This is with his massive size. He's towers over you by probably about a couple feet. He's taller than Duran, and he with his massive body. He steps over, stares at you with this. Even though his body gives this intimidating look, his eyes are very soft and caring. And then he looks on over at the group, seeing King, and then seeing Horatio. Lets go of you and then walks on over to them. King, he steps right in front of you, and this towering man, and places his hand on your shoulder. Releases it, and it goes over to Horatio and does the same. You all have been touched by Arcana. You all, and then seeing Duran, he just stops. His eyes fixates on him, almost like a magnet being attracted to metal. And he lets go of Horatio and walks over. Doesn't touch Duran, but just stares at him. You all have been touched by the Arcana. Your magic has been altered. And you are but a broken shell. I can feel your essence beneath my feet. What have you all done?
Saved your kingdom!
King.
Prevented the Corporus from falling from the sky! And it only took everything I've ever loved to do so. I'll turn away.
It's true, King. King Terminus. Something happened at the Arcanum. We went straight there because we knew Durama was going after the shard. Well, we were right. And some things happened, but we knew the Arcanum would fall if we didn't have this second chance to make things right. But
second chance? You
how well
confused
did
me.
you know my father?
I adventured with him. He was my greatest ally.
Did he ever tell you about a son?
You were the first I've ever heard of it. So no, I was just shocked to hear it from you.
That story isn't for public ears, but I will tell it to you.
We have won this battle. My army is defeating the rest of the undead, but the journey is not over. Yes, we must go to Fia, liberate Queen Camilla, and destroy Hiei. But there is a lich in Rainbow Ridge, where these undead seems to be pouring from. I must send my glorious army to defeat it once and for all.
What about the demon dancers going against the queen?
If they must be put down, then they must be put down. And he says this with stern. Everything he's been saying, although it's been serious, he seems to have a light attitude, but at this point, hearing everything, his attitude has been gone from more jubilation and happiness that he won the battle to more of an anger, fear, determination.
Kind of like he really knows what he's clocking in for today at work.
I'll turn around and I'll say, we cannot save Thelos for to get overrun by undead. This lich must be destroyed. Do you have knowledge of its phylactery, or else it will be for naught?
No, I do not know of its phylactery, but I am sending one of the greatest hunters I have in my court. He will find it, and if you want, and if you can, I ask you to join him and finally wipe out this undead scourge. Or you can continue, head to Fia, but I must regroup my army and prepare them for the trip.
There's no use for us returning to my homeland without having an army in tow.
I agree, Minako. Do you speak of Sir Koben?
No. I've heard of Koben, a powerful demon hunter, but a little out of his league. I speak of Julian, the great mage hunter, one of my captains. He is currently defeating the rest of the undead at the front lines. You will meet him shortly during debrief. But friends, we should rest. Wait to regroup. The day has been won, although there has been sacrifices. And he says, looking around, and you can see people look injured and kind of holding their arms and their legs, limping. Some people have been cursed, and then other people are just dead on the ground. Clerics tending to them as best as they can. buildings have been destroyed and shattered. And of course, looking at the battle-written group that is the Liberators. So what are you guys going to do? Terminus the last thing Terminus says is, I will reconvene back at the castle, about the castle Thelos. There we shall plan our strike on the Undead Scourge and on Fia. Won't you join me?
We'll be there.
Worried glances at King.
As he's starting to walk off, he turns around. Meet me in the castle of Thelos. 2 hours. I must see how the outcome of the battle on other sides have done, and heal those who needs it. And he walks off, and you see him using his arcane powers to heal what looks to be beyond healing, beyond repair, other Unity Knights, and specifically other people of the Grey District, and just wafting his hands and spinning them around. Divine light shoots out, and you see them all get up slowly. And a lot of the clerics who were attending were like, praise the king. And he smiles and continues walking throughout, healing people.
Like, if Duran looks at our team, is it obvious if any of us is still injured? Like, can you tell who's injured?
Who is injured? So,
If anyone? Or are we all at full health and shit?
Cal's the only one who's been injured. Cal and Minako are the only two who are injured. Since everyone got full health after eating the ambrosia.
Minako is obviously injured.
King Terminus, shouldn't you heal us first?
You kind of shout over to him as he finishes healing up one person. He goes, oh, yes! Oh, and he goes ahead and starts.
I'll put my hand up as he starts and be like, save it for the people. I will care for ours.
Are you sure? You look worse for wear.
Yes.
King Terminus, if he uses his magic to heal us, he'll be having less time. They'll be able to help us. It makes more sense if you heal us now.
You know nothing of my magic, Duran. And I'll hold the Caliburn, my spear, and I will cast through that, from which I believe at this point doesn't actually harm me, and I do have
Indeed,
a few
that's correct.
charges. And I will hold the staff, and even command it to fly over and sort of like land next to Minako and sort of pulse through healing energies.
Okay. So using Caliburn, spinning around, you use it to hold yourself up. At this point, although it's still painful, you're very fortitudinous. You have high constitution. You're able to passively withstand it anyway and cast your spells. And you go ahead and feel the energy of Myliki over you, Minako, as you are healed for your wounds. For how much? 28 points. Yeah, I think that fully heals you. Almost fully heals you.
She has a scratch on her
And
nose.
then and then I will take my wrist and make a few hand signals, and it will quickly swirl and spin and fly towards Cal, and it will similarly pulse 2 pulses of verdant energy, and I will use my 8th and 9th charge to cast Cure Wounds
Okay.
on him as well.
How many times do you have? 10?
If I use the 10th charge, I have to roll to see if it shatters. So I have 1 charge left that I will not use.
Okay.
Duran points at Monaco's nose. You missed a spot.
DM, do I feel like my powers are slowly coming back, or do I still feel no connection?
You feel no connection. Maybe you might need a rest or something, but right now you're just what's the word? Arcanely, if that's a word, exhausted.
I'll say, there. Now we all should feel better and be able to recuperate. 2 hours, right?
Agreed.
I'll look towards Terminus and the group. 2 hours.
Terminus looks over and says, right! Good luck, friends! And he continues healing people. At this point, then he goes beyond the distance, just walking off, touching people and healing them.
I'm gonna say I have other people that I need to check on and sprout my butterfly wings and fly towards the Dust District. I'll see you in 2 hours.
Ooh.
And leave. And you could see tears trailing as he flies away with his butterfly wings towards the center of the city.
So your majestic butterfly wings sprout out, and you, not looking back, fly off. In the dustless sky, you can see kind of a reflection. So it looks like diamond dust floating from your eyes down as you fly off, heading towards the Dust District.
I'm gonna try and find Sariel.
Got
See
it.
you know.
Okay.
Looking off and watching King fly away makes Duran remember. Kyle, do you still have that ring I lent you?
Yeah, of course.
Do you need it?
Yes.
I take it off and give
Useful.
it back to him. You're gonna need to get used to it again.
Yeah, spend an hour. I figure we have 2.
All right. So, King is flying off. Takes a little bit to get there, though you do have a fast fly speed. Is your fly speed your movement speed, or is it higher?
It is my movement speed with my actual wings, but if I use Caliburn, that has a fly speed of 50, so it's a little bit more, which I might not use my actual wings the whole way there, but I just wanted to be dramatic when I left.
Yeah. So you're flying there, and you pick up speed when you finally. Just the pain of the scar with the pain of losing your Stellus just is too much, and you just rely on Caliburn to get you the rest of the way, picking up the pace. While you travel, what are the rest of you doing? The day is yours.
We're taking a tram. Don't those take a bunch of time? We have to go to the Light District, and then from there, right?
We have to. So we're on like the other side of the Gray District from where the tram is, right? So we're gonna have to walk all the way back to where the tram is in the Gray District, or there are ways to jump levels like on a 1-to-1 type thing. So we could try to do that too. It'll just take time to walk. So it might take us like an hour to get to a tram to then.
Does Horatio have fly?
Horatio does have fly. I don't know if he can fly all of you, but I guess he has the spell slots where he can cast fly on all of you. But fly only lasts 10 minutes.
But they could fly to the tram quickly and then take it, so that way it's not like an hour and change to walk to the bus stop.
Yeah, exactly.
And Duran can fly, so the only people who need flying help at that point would be Cal, Monaco, and Horatio. And I don't know if Monaco can fly.
Monaco cannot fly.
Horatio goes, I actually didn't prepare fly today. Sorry, I didn't think we would need it.
Ugh, some wise wizard.
Duran, and he just kind of looks away.
Monaco kind of finds a position while we're walking to be near Horatio, and she'll kind of reach over and kind of hold his hand and look at him and look over and just give Duran a worried look, and then just not mention it.
So you guys are just going to
we're gonna walk, right? We're just gonna walk and see the devastation in a sad, slow walk.
Yeah, we have to walk to the closest tram we can get to. With my prior time in the city, would I know, like, would it be faster to like go up a level and then walk over to the tram there and then make our way to the keep, the castle?
Roll me investigation check at advantage.
8.
It's about. It will take you the same amount of time to walk to the next district and get to the tram than it would be just to walk to the tram. But you don't know any like shortcuts or that, so just equidistant.
Well, there still might be less destruction. That is true, Monaco. But there should be less destruction.
Well, I don't want to see any destruction.
No, I mean, there might be less destruction if we go. The tram might be in better working order from the next layer in.
You've been here before. Lead away.
Alright, so you guys are heading through to the next district.
Using my city secrets feature,
You can get there much faster.
getting there much faster, traveling between any two locations in the city twice as fast as your speed would normally allow.
Okay. So from the gray, you can get to the iron district, and then the dust, gem, magus, light, in that order. So you all begin following Cal throughout the gray district. Cal, just with your natural speed, you cut the time movie in half to get to the iron district. You still see because the undead got all the way up to the edge of the dust district, and you begin to look at the chaos that happened. People are there's Unity Knights picking up other people. There are actual eaten pedestrians that unfortunately could not escape the wrath of the undead. Buildings have been destroyed due to either casts from mages on the Thelosian side or mages that are on the undead side. There was a plethora of undead that that you fought, and then some. But eventually, making your way through, passing through the magical barrier that separates the gray and the iron, you find yourself in the Iron District. Right in front of you, you see there is a tram, although it looks to be like it's been barricaded, and there's a Unity Knight at the top of the steps standing there.
Walk up to him and tell him we're on official business for the king. We need to get to the castle.
The gentleman turns to you. I'm sorry, but the tram's off limits for officials only. How do I know you truly are in business with the king?
Excuse me, we're the Liberators. If you haven't heard of us, maybe you should talk to your king about that. Although I don't suppose you would have. Please just let us pass.
Roll a persuasion check.
A 24.
24. Very nice. He turns as Liberator. Yes, you were the group that spoke with the king. Thank you for your service, and yes, I can call the emergency tram. Where are you heading?
To the castle.
Of course.
Right. All right, then. He goes ahead and goes into his pocket, pulls out what seems to be a small brown stone. From this distance, it looks like it has a picture of etching of a face on it. You're not sure, but he begins to squeeze it and speaking out. This is platoon squad member 87G 994, guarding the Iron District tram. I have the Liberators. Please send emergency tram to the castle. And a response comes out. Roger that. We'll make sure we send the emergency tram. Coming your way, should be there in about T-minus 20 minutes. Putting it back in his pocket, he says, do you mind waiting about 20 minutes? We'll be able to get an emergency tram here then.
I guess if we must.
Thank you for everything. And then she just gives Horatio's arm a squeeze and walks away to go find seating or something.
There are seats where people normally sit to wait for the tram. You can easily take that when you're on the terminal. Meanwhile...
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Oh, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I was just gonna see if I could take a second to walk away from the group to use my special stone of sending.
Ah, the one given to you by the Knights of Equipoise?
Yeah, the Master Regen.
Mm-hmm.
The one that he gave me.
Mm-hmm.
And I just want to send a message. Did everyone make it out okay in the attacks? Because where we were talking to King Terminus was very close to where they are located.
Yes, indeed.
We're on that side of the city.
You go ahead and speak into it, and it takes about a moment. After stepping away, the rest of you see Cal kind of step away for a moment. As you rest, about 30 seconds pass, no response, and you hear, I don't know who this is, but, Master Regan, he's hurt bad. Our paladins are working best to aid him, but, it's not looking good. If you're a knight, please report. And it kind of cuts off there. 25 words.
I have no healing powers right now. I'd be able to assume that, right, DM, that I have no healing powers since...
You try to reach out to your divine energy, like a lay on hands, and use it to maybe, like, cure yourself a little bit, just to see. It's like, like nothing comes out. Like, it's not an audible sound, but you get that kind of sensation of engine revving, but not starting. And just nothing coming out right now.
Okay.
And it seems like when the person was saying that was not Master Regan, you know that for a fact, and it sounds like he's hurt.
I'm like, I don't think I even have like any. I do have some potions of healing, but like, there's other paladins there probably doing the exact same thing right now.
Possibly.
And he really pissed me off the last time we spoke.
Meanwhile, King, at this point, throughout the time that they've been traveling, you have made quite a distance, now flying on Caliburn. You see the forest beneath you of the Dust District. In terms of, it's a thick forest, you can't see exactly where it is from above, but you can enter in and begin looking around.
I would slowly, when I made it back towards over the forest in the Dust District, I'll call out my wings again and sort of flap them to sort of make a show in the sky, and I will call out in Elvish and also Sylvan, and I'll shout out sort of a elven phrase of like victory to like sort of say like we've won, come to me, and then as I slowly get closer towards either like the altars we made, I will just say, bring Sariel to me, find her, I need her counsel, and just like sort of like bellow out, like as if the forest and the people can hear me.
Okay. So you go from the canopy into the forest itself after shouting out the victory and making that display. The forest is empty, scary empty. It was always a presence you felt when you came in here. All the different, the hidden elves who were looking like humans, the druids, they're all gone. You shout out to the trees, shout out going in between all of the shops that have been abandoned. It doesn't seem that anyone is responding. Eventually, you find yourself. Actually, roll me a survival or investigation check, your choice. See how long it takes you to find your way back.
Either towards like where like the shops and things were, and then off that beaten path towards the like altars that we cleaned and set up. Like if I don't see anyone, that's sort of where I'll go and like want to wind up or try to. And I'll do the investigation for an 18.
18, nice. So you quickly find your way there. You know the path. You feel the energy from your word of recall, and it's almost like a beacon leading you there, and you find yourself in that strange graveyard-like mausoleum that's dedicated towards the Prolefsi.
Okay, so then if no one's there and no one responded, I'll say softly to myself, she listened. Thank goodness. I half expected her to still be here, but she heeded my words and led our people to safety. Good job. Good job, Sariel. I knew I could trust you. And I'll just lay on the ground and weep for an hour before I'll then make my way to I'll try to make it to the thing on time, but I just will lay there and weep by myself.
Okay, fair enough. So you sit there and seeing the forest is empty, coming to the conclusion that Sariel must have escaped, hopefully grabbing whatever humans are along the way they said they were heading to a cave or somewhere safe, so perhaps they're safe, but you don't know. Thinking back to what's going on with Duran, you just lay down on the ground alone in the Prolefsi garden next to the
where we made our bond.
Where you made your bond, where you place your word of recall next to the shrine of Myliki, and you just feel empty, alone. You haven't felt this way in a very long time.
I'll just cry and cry.
Okay. All right. About 20 minutes passes for everyone on the tram, and eventually the familiar tram comes down and lands right in front of the station.
On we board, right? And it's just like the other trams, right?
Yep.
As we get in, Minako just kind of sighs and says, it's so good for us to finally be alone. And then once the tram gets moving, she'll attempt to call her familiar to see if he's, dead or whatever.
All right.
Just in front of everybody?
Yeah.
Minako, I can't say I'm okay with this.
Well, do you warn anyone, Minako, or are you just doing the summon?
Oh, she just takes a seat and then takes out her book and starts weaving shadows with her fingers out of the book, and it forms into a little shape, and it becomes clear that she's summoning a familiar.
Oh, okay. You go ahead and cast it. You try to summon the familiar, and it doesn't take the hour. So once the familiar has been summoned, it pops up. So once you finish using your incantations and your somatic, the shape of the familiar appears and then goes immediately blank. Minako, you can feel him. Are you summoning him in his imp form or was he in his cat form? I can't recall.
Last time he was seen, he was in his imp form.
Okay.
And she hasn't since commanded him to change forms, but it's not like he could appear as a cat if he wanted to.
Okay, no, he will appear in his imp form. That's what he's most comfortable in. But he does come invisible, as he's a very wary individual. But for a moment, Cal, you do see the outline in darkness of an imp before the darkness shatters, from over Monaco's book, and it's just invisible energy. And without your divine sense, you can't tell if there's a if there's a creature there or not. But
okay, gotcha.
but
But you did see
you did see something dark happen.
Adrian.
Yeah, so I think as I see something dark happening, that's when I would have said, I can't condone that. I can't be comfortable with this.
Cal, I thought you were all about balance. I figured you would understand.
The balance of working with devils that deal in the ebb and flow of souls? Does that sound natural to you?
I mean, I think that's a very kind of myopic way of looking at it, don't you? I mean, there's so much more going on. After all, they are the most ancient enemies of chaos. And it is devil blood, which makes us different than humans.
I'm aware of that fact. Just because someone is lawful, though, does not necessarily mean they have the best intentions. I say that as I'm also thinking about Master Regan kind of bleeding out, and I didn't get to go help him.
I mean, you could always leave if you want to.
I could always leave and go back, but I have to go to this meeting with the king first before I do anything else.
Okay. But Udrin says,
Is everything all right, Lady Monaco? The Burning Hand is not too pleased. You have not been in contact, and he's been unable to reach you. Specifically a time about a few hours ago.
Oh, there is much to discuss. But don't you worry about that. You'll be fine.
Oh, I better be, in terms of our contract. But what have you summoned me for? How can I be of service?
Well, as you can see, my hair is all out of sorts. And then she just like smiles at him and he's invisible. She just smiles and then looks over at Cal and says, "Some things that are lawful in their blood are also incredibly loyal."
You may be right, but always consider who they're ultimately loyal to.
That seems to sting her a little bit, and she just looks away.
so Udrin begins, after your comment about your hair, rolling his eyes, although you really can't tell he rolled his eyes, but he stomps a little bit on your arms, getting up into your shoulders. He doesn't weigh that much, and begins flapping his wings and starts to fly and starts to comb your hair and kind of using his nails to give it a treatment to make it look better. And he's not actually doing a bad job, though the rest of you are just seeing Monaco's hair just fix itself.
Well, unless an hour has passed, Duran is intently focused on just reattuning to that ring.
Mm-hmm. It'll take you about an hour to take the tram all the way back to the Noble District, unless you have to swap and move. You're not sure if they're taking you straight there or to the Light District to then switch to the one to the Dust District, and to the Noble District. So we'll say for about 45 minutes, just a little bit less than an hour, because the tram can only go so fast. It goes over all the stops, passing all the districts until finally reaching to the edge of the Light District, and it seems to stop in midair. When it does, the tram turns and jerks and continues moving on some type of ethereal line, not the same that it was taken before, bypassing the Light District and continuing over the Sapphire Lake that is the moat of Thelos, before slowly appearing on the opposite side where you guys entered, and locking into place. There are several guards who are there, that seems to have been waiting for you. The tram door opens up, and you see several Unity Knights step onto the platform. "Hello, we've been expecting you." The person in charge walks up. This person looks to be a dwarven gentleman with a long sword, taller than himself, but he's clad in heavy mithril armor, very fancy. "I was told that the Liberators would be on board."
And here we are.
Though a member short, they will be joining shortly, or in their own time.
"Excellent. You're early. But, alas, I can take you to the war room. There we can wait for King Terminus to return and debrief." And he kind of heads down the stairs. "Follow me."
I follow.
Okay. Do you all follow?
Indeed.
So as you all follow, and we'll say at this point, Duran, you've now solidified your link with the ring and have successfully attuned to it. Just be sure you didn't pass your normal amount of attunements that you can have. And you start to make your way down the steps. This side of the island that is the Noble District, it looks a little bit different. Looks more like a castle, whereas the other entrance was for nobles to enter. It was decorated and it was a pathway. That looks more like a fortress almost entrance. Eventually you go up past the hedgeries until you get to what seems to be a stone wall that when looking up you can see how massive the Castle Thelos is. At this stone wall you're also being followed by a procession of other Unity Knights. Until this dwarven gentleman walks on up towards the door and presses a stone brick, and it goes inside. When it does, the doorway opens up, leading into what seems to be a staircase going off into darkness. If you can see into the dark, you can see that the staircase is a winding one that leads downstairs. If you can't, you have no idea. But nevertheless, the dwarven gentleman goes this way, and he turns to the about 20 other guards that are there. Stand out here, stand guard. Only those authorized can enter. And come along, liberators. What is you said you had one more? What's his description? What's their description so I make sure that they're able to get in?
Oh, he's about this tall. Maybe
Does
he'll
he
be
have a
crying.
name?
His name is King, and then just one second, and then she'll attempt to call out to King in brain chat directly. King, but we're at the castle and you're not here.
King, you're sobbing on the ground at this point still.
I'll be there shortly. Coming from the Dust District.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'll be all right. They're safe here. They fled to shelter.
I'm sorry to hear that. I know you probably need to talk to someone right now. Hold on. I think we're being let in somewhere.
I'm coming right now. I'll be there as quick as I can. And then I will collect myself and pull out a notebook that I have, and I'll write just like a large note saying, the king ventures deeper to find the promised land. Praise her. And I will fold that note up and sort of place it under the rock at the base of the Shrine of Myliki, hoping that someone gets that. And I will use a level 3 spell, which I know will probably still hurt me, but not terribly. And as an action, just sort of calm myself and let the natural energy pulse out, and I'll use plant growth to invigorate all of the natural life around me in a 100-foot radius, and just have like the trees and the ground and the flowers and the grasses grow and get invigorated with life, and sort of have like a sort of leave like a footprint or a pulse of life here. For those attuned to it, they will feel it and hopefully find the note. And then after I do that, I will go to the tram that's in this district, and if it's attended or someone is there, I'll see if I could get a ride on a tram, thinking that would be quicker than me flying. So if someone is there, I'll take the tram, but if no one is there to like help me, then I'll just say screw it and fly as fast as I can on Caliburn.
Okay. So you fly out of the Dust District looking for the tram station. You can easily spot it from your vantage point. Going closer to it, there does seem to be a Unity Knight standing at the tram.
Sir Unity Knights, I need to take this tram to the castle. King Thelos summoned the Liberators. I am one of them. I was checking on the people of this district.
She turns to you and she says, "Oh, you're a Liberator. Oh, I just received orders to alert a king that his party members have met Captain Julian."
Yes. I need to regroup with them. Can you please call a tram, or when the next one comes, can you have it take me directly to the castle?
Sure. The tram's currently at the arcane capital, the arcane castle. It'll take some time to get there and back.
There isn't another one you can call to here?
We only have the one. Everything else has been shut down. We don't want any travel. No one's to go in and out on the trams until everything's back to normal. Orders from the king. I'm sorry.
All right. Can you actually, if I do recall, I know that there are other tram stations along the way. If it's flying from the castle, could you possibly have it go to the Magus or Gem district, and I can meet it as I can fly there, and then we can regroup and it can take me the rest of the way?
Yeah, that would work. Which district? It can probably get to the Magus district within the next 15 minutes or so, if you can fly that fast.
I will try my hardest. Can you have it wait there for me?
Of course, yes.
All right, I will immediately just thank you and take off into the air.
Okay, and she goes and pulls out. Usually, the last thing she does is pull out her the strange looking rock with a face on it, and starts talking into it. And you begin flying off. Flying your full speed, going between. See, if you're in the dust district, you're trying to go 2 districts to the Magus district. It'll take you about like 20 minutes, and they're going from the arcane capital. So,
because they're going up 2 districts and I'm coming back 2 districts, or it's 2 and 2, and then I figured the tram moves faster than 50 feet because I can go 50 feet per round on Caliburn. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, the tram's pretty good. Actually, probably around the same speed. So as you're flying towards the Magus district, you start to see in the distance the tram coming up there. One of the Unity Knights that has been stationed at the Magus district is moving their hands back and forth as they're starting to lock into place over at the station. You finally land there as the one gentleman gets shocked seeing you. Oh, that was fast. King, right?
Yes, perfect timing.
Right, we got authorization to send the tram. This will take you straight to the arcane castle.
Perfect. Depart, thank you. And then I will look down at my ruby bracelet and send a direct message to Minako and say I'm coming. I'll be there in less than 20 minutes. I'm on the tram.
Before you get to respond, Minako, you're currently during this time as the travel, after speaking with King, you start walking down the spiraling stairs until eventually finally making it to the bottom. You all can see into the dark, so you see it's a tight corridor and you have to stand back to back, though there are no torches, and the dwarven gentleman in front of you doesn't seem to need any type of light. Possibly because he has dark vision, as dwarves do. But eventually you do finally make it there, and Horatio the entire time had just been holding on to someone else, or actually Horatio, not being able to see in the dark, kind of snaps his fingers and light globules appear, and he lights it up. The light kind of makes your eyes wince a little bit, and but Julian doesn't phase until finally you make it towards the bottom. There before you see is a large wooden door with a doorknob on it. Doesn't need to be any locks or onto it, just his doorknob. And Julian takes out his sword, and at this point you can see the sword has this strange skull on the hilt of it. Typically where like a gem or ruby would normally be. The skull begins to glow red, and is a spiraling formation of a thick handle leading up to the hilt, and the arm guard, which is made out of what seems to be this blue-like metal. Without inspecting it, you can't be sure what this metal is made out of, but it looks like a very hefty, powerful sword. With that, he knocks the skull hilt onto the door, and you hear a click, and the door just opens up by itself. All right then, follow me. And he opens up the door, going through it. On the other side, you all, as the door opens up and you all one by one go through the threshold, you see that this is a large circular room, probably about 50 by 50 room if you want to compare it to a normal rectangular room. In it, there's a large table on top of it, you can see it looks like the entire map of Duskhaven. There are little blocks and figurines placed at certain locations, and there seems to be every major city has its own 3D mini of that placed on top of it. There are maps all around you, maps of places you've never even seen before. One thing you all of you, except for Monako, would be able to point out is that there are maps of Galeem, because Cal, you've been to Galeem throughout your journeys at some point, the desert, but you all just recognize maps of Galeem, except for you, Monako, as you've never been there before, as well as a very crude map of the top layer, the Broken Lands. For the most part, all these maps are crude. There's like missing pieces and things like that all on them, but enough detail where you can basically tell, at least Horatio anyway, like that's Galeem, that's the Broken Lands. There are couches and also other tables set around and weapons set upon all on the walls and on top of racks. But it's just the 5 of you in there, and he goes, "All right, everyone, have a seat. We'll wait for your ally and the king to return. Don't touch anything, and we'll discuss our plans to defeat the Lich and conquer Fia, freeing it from Hiei and the dark forces of the demon dancers in his disposal." 20 minutes pass as you guys, unless there's anything specific you want to ask and all that, 20 minutes will pass before King arrives.
Looking at the wall of weapons, is there anything that sticks out and that I would recognize the handiwork of?
Roll me an investigation check at advantage, or an arcana check at advantage. Yeah, and that's it. Or religion check at advantage. Those are your 3 things you can roll.
Okay.
Monako will attempt a religion check to identify things in the room.
Okay, yeah, you can do so as well. You don't get advantage, though.
Absolutely not. I don't see anything that I can imagine.
27?
27 versus Cal's 2 at advantage, dropping a natural 1.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Really bad.
Cal, you don't see anything. Monako, you look around, just checking the religious energies on the wall, and there are a couple of items. There's a sword that has a very divine energy on it that's been placed the highest above what seems to be the back of the room, and next to it seems to be, right below it, looks to be some type of firearm weapon. You're not really used to what firearms look like, but it's just a strangely carved silver firearm with 2 barrels on the front of it and a short handle.
Hey, Cal, do you know what this is?
What? Oh, I didn't see that one. Can I look at it now?
Sure. Cal, now looking at it and finding this, you begin to inspect it and look at it. It doesn't seem like Julian has really took notice. He's just reading paperwork while you guys are looking around. Getting close to it, looking at your pistols, looking at your railgun, they have the same etchings, made out of the same material.
I grab it.
As soon as you grab it, Julian, not even looking at you, props up and turns. "Didn't I say did not touch anything?" Cal, as soon as you touch it, a sense of arcane energy or divine energy comes upon you. You get flashes of a strange, or flashes of what seems to be Galilea building this weapon, enchanting this weapon with his artificer magic, shooting it, and seeing a divine blast of spray of energy shoot out of it. You see him handing this gun over towards King Terminus, who just makes a smile and begins using it himself, shooting what seems to be allies with it, and they're just like, ah, and he's laughing, and then they go, like seeming to be not injured, if anything healed, and then like within all that, you're instantly snapped back into reality. "Put that down!" At this point, the dwarf is right in front of you. Though he's smaller than you, he still towers you with his massive presence. He has his hand reaching back towards his long sword. "That is not yours to touch."
But it was my father's hand that crafted it.
"I don't know who your father is. But this belongs to King Terminus. This is one of his holy relics. Put it down now, or your hand will lose its connection to the arm."
I pop the strap on my holsters and lean out the revolvers with their filigree and very similar make and appearance. Like, you think I don't know how to use something like this? A healing gun?
He looks on over towards you. I don't know how you know what this weapon does. No, I don't even care. Put down the weapon that belongs to the king, or I will add your hand to my collection of dismembered body parts that I've slewed with this sword.
That sounds very smelly. And I put the gun back with a smirk.
I will say again, a final time, looking at everyone he says this, don't touch anything.
Duran is gonna step up to him. He's gonna put one finger on his chest.
Sure.
Can I make an intimidation check? Duran rolls a 31.
31. I'm going to have him roll a charisma saving throw versus that. Okay. Even at advantage. You did not beat it. He looks on over at you, seeing you square up towards him, placing your finger on your chest. He clenches onto his sword even harder, and then begins to slowly let go of it. What are you looking for, a fight or something?
I don't know what I'm looking at. Duran just walks back.
He just doesn't say anything else after that intimidation and walks on over to his paperwork again, gleaming one last look at the rest of you before putting himself into his work. Is there anything anyone wants to do?
On the ride to it, I'm going to repack all of my shit and prestidigitate myself and offer it to the Unity Knight. Be like, you look a little worse for wear. Would you like a refresh? I certainly need it to, like, get off the tears off of my face and sort of try and collect myself. And as I'm going through my bag and offering that, I'll pull out the holster that Duran got me, and I'll think to myself, like, how much he means to me, and that I don't think King's ready to give up. He's hurt and destroyed, but he's not done. And he'll put Caliburn in the holster, and then sling that over him prominently and proudly as he prepares to reunite with his allies and Duran.
Okay. Speaking of Duran, you reholster that. Casting your presentation, the guard looks over to you and says, and he looks at you, and you still look like shit. And he says, no, I'm fine. Thank you. You tend to yourself. And then minutes pass until finally you hear the shifting of the tram onto the new track. Until after a few more minutes after that, you finally see, looking out the window, the other side of the sapphire moat before clinking onto this more fortified section of the Castle Arcana. The door opens up, and there's a bunch of guards who seem to have been there waiting for you and say, "Are you king?" One of them shouts.
I am. Please lead me to the others.
Right, your friends are waiting for you. Follow me. And the guard takes you down the staircase, walking through the brushes to the stone wall. Looks like they push onto one of the loose bricks, and the door opens up. Your dark vision, you can easily see the path ahead of you, but the guard goes, you, perchance don't have any way to see in the dark, do you? I'm just a human, and the captain always forgets that, and I don't want to stumble.
Luminosity! And I'll call forth a glow, and I'll hold my hand up, and a warbling glow will just sort of, like, emanate from my hand.
Thank you. Oh, thank you so much. Right this way. And he begins leading you down the staircase until eventually you do make it toward that same door. He goes and knocks on it. The rest of you hear it knocking at the door. Captain Julian, King of the Liberators has arrived. Excellent. It's about time. The king should be here in a matter of moments. He goes ahead and opens up the door. There you see, it's probably a little bit shorter than you, King, is the dwarven gentleman. He has short, I didn't really describe him other than his facial features. He has a rugged face and like a thick nose, very bushy eyebrows, and short brown hair. His eyes gleam with this amber-like tone towards it, and you, just being generally arcane, you can feel the magic coming off of his sword and his armor. So you're king, as he says, making quotations, from the Liberators.
I am, yes. And you are?
Captain Julian.
It is a pleasure to make your acquaintance, Captain Julian.
And he then turns around, walking back out. When you walk through, the door slams shut in front of the guard. Have a good poof, and it slams right in front of him, locking itself once again.
Oh, before the door closed, I would have thrown the glowing warble onto, him, so that way he's not locked in the dark.
Okay, fair enough. Thank you, he says, yelling throughout the door. He turns to you, now that you're all here, I'll tell you the one rule. Don't touch anything. The king should be here momentarily.
Oh, but isn't that a map of Galeem? And I'll walk over towards that.
Don't touch anything! Ugh. Just, the king will be here shortly. Oh, I hope I don't have to work with these people. And he begins muttering towards himself. And as you all sit there and finally see King arrive, King Duran, you can kind of lock eyes for a moment. It's very awkward between all of you. But at that point, we will take a break.
Ooh, big session.
You are so mean. Nasty.
Hi, I'm the Tale Weaver Omar, and DM here at A Tale of D20's Network.
Hi, I'm Zektown, and I am the DM here at A Tale of D20's Network.
Zek, you know I am the Dungeon Master for the drama-fueled, anime-inspired fantasy epic Descent into the Void, right?
Yes, but Omar, you know I am the Dungeon Master for the comedy-riddled, trope-smashing fantasy epic The Natural Ones.
I guess both of them are perfect shows for a tabletop podcasting network.
It's a good thing that people can find us at ataleofd20s.com then.
Yeah, you can also find us on Twitter at A Tale of D20s. That's at ATALEOFD20S, A Tale of D20s.
And you can find each show on Twitter at The Nat Ones Cast, at THENAT1SCAST, The Nat Ones Cast, or Descent Void at DESCENTVOID, Descent Void on Twitter.
So, if you want thrilling drama,
or a side-splitting comedy, A Tale of D20s has you covered.